Hello everyone, what is up and welcome back to the channel iDreamers. Today is of course yet another self-repair video that I've brought for all of you. Today's video is going to be the detailed step-by-step guide on how you can replace the battery on your Samsung Galaxy S8. This phone was released back in April of 2017. That would mean that this phone is around 7 years old, and this is a pretty old phone, but I'm sure that a lot of you are using this, might just be having some minor issues that might prevent you from using this phone. And for me, my goal is to make sure that those devices are not just gathering dust. Without further ado, let's get started. Let's get this repair done and we'll continue discussing more. For this repair, other than the phone, we will also need the toolkit like we always do. Isopropanol alcohol, definitely need that. This hot air gun right here, and the B7000 adhesive glue that we use to stick back the phone. So we need that. We need a suction cup. It can either be a clamp like the one that I'm having now, or can also be a normal suction cup like the one that I'm having right here. It'll be slightly easier, but you really risk damaging. And you also need some guitar picks. These picks look like guitar picks. You can also use your guitar picks. These are the thin ones and these are the thick ones. I think I recognize them from my old repairs. So these are the things that we need for this repair. And now the first step is to heat up the back plate. That's what we're going to do now. That's a decent amount of heating that we have on this phone. We don't want to put too much of heat. Once the phone is heated up, let's open up our clamp, slide the phone in through, put it by the middle, prying it open, and here you can see that there's a small gap at the side, and once you see the gap, that is when you slide your pick through it. And what we do is we immediately remove the suction cup. I keep forgetting to mention in all my repairs, let's say your phone screen is working, you just want to make sure that the phone is switched off before you do the repair. Just do that. This pick slide in, we just got to cut through the back glass, which is not that big of a hassle. The left side, on the right side where there is the fingerprint scanner, that is where you need to be careful. So let's just slide the pick through here. I'm kind of stuck here, and here you can see that I'm kind of risking breaking the glass. So what I'm going to do is, at this point, I got to put more heat, apply more heat over here, right over here. We have to put more heat, and I'm just going to leave that pick over here, and I'm going to take a new pick and go through the back glass right now. Okay, just got to be really careful with the crack part here because I'm going to be reusing this back glass, so just got to be really careful with that. Okay, there we go, more heat really did the job. Okay, I also got to make sure I don't go too deep inside it because the fingerprint scanner is right inside here. Just got to make sure I do that. It's kind of hard here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to hit the bottom part now. It's actually safer if you want to remove the back glass using multiple picks. You don't want the glass to be intact. I think you can just use one pick, just go through it. For me, I want to take it out in one piece as much as possible, and that is the reason why I'm using so many picks and so much of heat. Yeah, I think now we can slowly lift the back glass up, and this is where you want to be really careful because the fingerprint flex cable is right over here, so we don't want to rip it off. So you got to be really careful when opening it up. Just be really gentle with it, really gentle. Okay, now we can slowly remove the other picks, but the top part here is still adhered. We can't put the pick too deep into it too because we will risk damaging the fingerprint sensor. Okay, there we go. The back glass has been removed. Here you can see the internals, and this is the back glass that we removed. Now with the back glass open, the only thing that we have to do is take a spudger and just slowly remove this connector. That's it. The moment you open the connector, the fingerprint scanner is out. We got to remove we got to remove all the screws on the upper section of this phone, which is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws. We got to remove all these 8 screws. So let's quickly remove that now. Now with all the screws removed, we can just lift it up. Let's just be slow and not break the plastic. Now the wireless charger has been removed. Now let's slowly just unplug the battery connector. Okay, battery connector unplugged. We're going to take some alcohol and we're going to spray it on top of the battery. Just make sure it goes into, once you have put the alcohol, all you want to do is just take some spudger, plant it slightly in through the opening at the bottom, and just try to pry the battery out. There we go, the battery is lifted up. Now let's slightly remove it and we can take it out. Okay, the battery is now out. So once you have removed your old battery, just want to take a new battery. For me, I'm just going to be using the old battery, but for you, you're going to be using your new battery. Put it in, press it in place, and what you might want to do is turn the phone on. Check if everything is working. If everything is working, then the last thing you want to do is to plug your phone in and charge. Once the battery is charging, take your wireless charger, put it back in place. You don't have to screw it in or anything. Take your wireless charger, slap it back at the back, and just make sure that the phone charges. And if it's working, you can deem your repair successful. Just remove the wireless charging pad. Now you can continue putting back all the screws that you took out. Once you put the wireless charging cord back in place, take your fingerprint scanner, put it back inside the socket, and once I'm done, I'm gonna press it back in place. I know that I have to glue this fingerprint scanner, but before I glue it back, I gotta test if the fingerprint scanner works. So I gotta turn it around, make sure it doesn't fall off, and then I'm just gonna test the fingerprint scanner to see if it works. So once you've tested that, flip it around, and you wanna slowly remove the fingerprint scanner. Make sure you do not damage the flex cable because this is very fragile. Take the glue, and once you've opened it up, just put a fair bit amount, just a small slight one drop will do. But of course, please be reminded that do not use too much of glue, because if you use too much, it's going to overflow and it's going to be nasty, and you don't want glue getting inside the camera. Once that's done, put it back, press it in place, and let it set for a while. And once it's glued in place, all you got to do is just fix the back glass back in. If I want to take some hand sanitizer or some alcohol like I'm having right here, and then maybe take a spudger like this, okay, I think you can definitely see that there's a lot of residue on this device. What you have to do is you just have to spray some alcohol, and then you just slowly scrape it off like the one that I'm doing right now. Glue residue is slowly coming off. Remove it entirely from this frame and make sure it's clean. Once you've cleaned it, just make sure everything is okay. And once you've done that, it's time for you to take your back glass. For me, I'm going to be using the same old back glass. I'm using a liquid glue, but for you, you might choose to use a glue that's made for this phone. It's much neater. And for those of you who are using the liquid glue, this is only for y'all. So y'all can just spread it over here, take the tip, spread it all over the aluminum frame. Just make sure it doesn't get into the speakers or any of the holes, because those will just damage the parts. Just make sure it's only on the aluminum frame. And if those on the aluminum frame is not enough, you can take your new back glass and you can apply it at the side, at the edge of the new back glass too. So once that's done, what you might want to do is, I just want to stick your back glass down. And I'm pretty sure all back glass come with the camera cover. Once you have all the glue placed, what you want to do is just gently place it from the top. I would love to do it from the top, but some might prefer to do it from the sides. But doing it from the top has a better success rate because you're just aligning it from the top, so it's easier. Just give it a good press down, and once that's done, you're going to take something heavy. For me, I always love to use books, like all of you know. Place it on top. Now just wait for the back glass to be adhered to the back of the phone.
A few moments later.
You might just want to remove the book or whichever bit that you use to hold the phone. Once that's done, you might just want to take it, check if everything is okay. The last thing you want to do is you just gotta test the wireless charging pad one. For me, I always use a MagSafe charger to test the wireless charging. So just put it at the back, connect it to power. Just test how the wireless charging is working, and if that's working, your repair is a success. Because the back glass helps with the wireless charging, so you just gotta make sure that that is working. So that is the battery replacement on your Samsung Galaxy S8. I always say, remember not to puncture the battery, but I think I accidentally punctured the battery today because I didn't put my spudger deep inside to go to the back and remove it from the adhesive. It went into the battery, and what happened was I heard a small hissing sound from the battery, and that is something you don't want to hear because you never know when the battery explodes. So that is something you want to be really careful about. So just make sure you don't do my mistake, and even when you're putting your new battery in, just be careful that you adhere it in properly, even in the first time. You don't want to remove it and put it back again. I would definitely rate this repair a 5 out of 10, and I think the max you can take is just half an hour. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and if you like what you saw, don't forget to click the like button, don't forget to get subscribed, turn on notifications so you get notified whenever I post a video, be it the self-repair guide or be it a review of any devices. You get notified immediately and you can go and watch it. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch all of you in the next one. Bye bye.